We begin tonight with one of the biggest nationwide days of protest since the killing of George Floyd in police custody. A 12th day of demonstrations in dozens of cities, demands for justice and change, not just in the name of Floyd, but for African Americans, saying they have long been victimized by systematic racism in America. Tens of thousands of people packing streets and parks in New York City, Philadelphia, Chicago, and Denver, carrying signs reading "Black Lives Matter" and chanting the names of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and Ahmaud Arbery. The nation's capital filled with thousands of protesters, a huge crowd gathering in front of the Lincoln Memorial. Protesters marching across the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, and thousands turning out for the March for Justice in Seattle, including hundreds of healthcare workers calling racism a public health emergency. Many of the demonstrations still going on at this hour. ABC's Mary Bruce in Washington to lead us off.
From San Francisco, where protesters marched across the Golden Gate Bridge, to Philadelphia and Chicago. Tonight, thousands taking to the streets calling for an end to police brutality and systemic racism. In Washington, D.C., the largest crowds yet. Tens of thousands of people marching from the Capitol and the Lincoln Memorial to the White House. We walked with Michael Howard, his 10-year-old son, Christopher, holding on tight.
For things to happen in a society, it takes all of us, and this is his part that he's playing.
We met so many families speaking out for the next generation.
This is part of history, and they need to learn that history takes hard work.
Heather Gerald is from Minnesota and says George Floyd's death there was eye-opening for her.
Even though I thought I was educated, I was not, and there's a lot of work to do.
At the White House, a powerful message to the president.
So this is now the scene right outside of the White House. You have this new higher fortified security perimeter, and then right outside of the president's doorstep, essentially, this incredibly passionate protest.
Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
In response, tonight, Democrats in Congress are preparing to introduce legislation that would include a ban on chokeholds and create a national police misconduct registry. The crowd today stretching for blocks, demonstrating on top of that new mural ordered by the D.C. mayor, the same street that just days ago was cleared by force to make way for the president's photo op.
Now walking down the street right on top of that new mural, and the mayor telling us she felt it was important to send a very clear message that kind of violence and force that we saw right here earlier this week never happens again.
We saw something that I hope to never see in my lifetime in America, and that's the United States federal forces moving against American people in peaceful protest in the nation's capital.
Courtney Walker brought her 2 small sons to witness this history, telling us their lives could depend on it.
This is worth the risk, because if I didn't come down here today, their lives are in danger every day. So it's worth the risk to come down to make sure that change is effective.
This peaceful protest, also a celebration.
This is America!
The more people that are here means the more people that realize this affects everybody.
Allison Jennings has been here all week. She tells us it's the conversations happening in this crowd that will spark true change in this country.
And that's what this is doing. It's teaching people about other things and showing them where the change needs to be made.
Just the conversations that are happening right here.
Conversations that are happening, absolutely.
All right, Mary Bruce joins us now from Washington, where the protests are still ongoing. So far, Mary, this is a very different type of protest in more ways than one from what we've seen in the nation's capital.
Yeah, Tom, unlike most large protests that we see here, there is no one main organizer at this event. This is a true grassroots movement, united by that common belief that Black Lives Matter. The tone here today is a joyous one. This is part protest, part block party, a diverse crowd here coming together to cause change. Tom.
Mary Bruce leading us off from the nation's capital tonight. Mary, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.